The Denver Nuggets need to win the championship this year for Nikola Jokic's sake. Jokic is becoming a player that has, I think, a lot of eyes on him at once. I think that people are starting to watch Jokic a lot more than they were last year. Last year, I was doing a lot of videos talking about Nikola Jokic. I was saying things like, oh, Nikola Jokic is underrated, most underrated MVP. I feel like he deserves more recognition, this and that. He was winning the MVP, but he deserved more recognition. He deserved to be greater. And the other day, I did a video talking about if Nikola Jokic was overrated, and the conclusion is that no, Nikola Jokic is not overrated. But the thing is, people have almost kind of a right to look at Jokic and be like, okay, this dude always does good in the regular season. What does he do in the playoffs? If Nikola Jokic really wants to solidify himself as like a real great, like a top 10 player of all time, which I feel like Nikola Jokic just has the potential to do. You know what? Nikola Jokic right now is number one in the MVP voting. That means that if he wins the MVP, and if he ends up doing it this year, he'll become the fourth player ever to win 3 consecutive MVPs in a row. The only other players that have done that is Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Bird. Nikola Jokic could do that. That right there, that statistic would put him in company with very big players. But what it comes down to is winning. Yes, we know the Denver Nuggets can win. They're a good team. And when you have your center being a point guard and a center, he's not a liability on defense. He can shoot the ball. He doesn't always tend to shoot, but he can. On the low post, he gets the ball. He's basically unstoppable when he gets it down low. In my opinion, I think he is. Like, he does what you want your center to do, what every average center can do. Plus, he can do what any good point guard can do. Plus, he can shoot the ball. Plus, he knows all the plays. He knows how to run this team, and he makes sure that everybody gets to their position and gets their shots. That's what Jokic is, and that's what he's done over this past, 2-3 years. He's cultivated his game, and it really revolves around his team in a way. Like, everybody has their say in the offense, but Jokic knows how to manipulate it in a way to where even if somebody's doing, having a bad game, or somebody keeps bricking their shots, he's able to still run it in a way. You almost want to just like sit down with the guy and have a conversation with him and talk about the plays he runs and how he does everything. So at a high level, I think that's what Jokic has done. He's gotten to a high level for centers. Maybe not if you put him in a point guard, position, but for a center to be able to do for a center, he is a better playmaker than most point guards. For a center, he is able to manipulate the game better than most point guards. He's at like a Chris Paul level. Maybe I'll call him a Walmart Chris. He's more than Walmart. We'll call him like a Target Chris Paul. Like, he can do what great point guards have been able to do, and he's doing it at such a big, he's a big frame. Like, this is a center we're talking about, and he's able to go in the post and get everything done. Long story short, Nikola Jokic is amazing. He's a top-tier player, but he's not winning championships. And it's like Giannis only had the same thing happen to him until 2 years ago when he won the championship for himself. But it was like this thing where people were like, okay, we see these Bucks. The Bucks are a good regular season team. Middleton does his thing. Jrue Holiday does his thing. Okay, they're a cool team. Malcolm Brogdon, he was cool when he was over there. Whatnot. But at the same time, you know what? I'm looking at you and I'm looking at how you never get past the second round. I'm looking at how you never get past the first round. I'm looking at how every time you get to the playoffs, you lose in 6 in the conference finals. That's what I'm looking at. And they would do things like that to the Bucks until Giannis won. And now that Giannis has won, he's got this extra oh yeah, we know Giannis. Giannis is the best player in the NBA. Well, the reason I think that a lot of people want to argue against Jokic is if you go on Instagram, go on Twitter, people are always going to be mad at Jokic. Like, you see any post enlightening Jokic, you see any post talking about the MVP power rankings, and they're like, oh my goodness, Jokic is so overrated. It's just because he hasn't won. He needs to win. That's the next step. Like, not everybody's an NBA fanatic. For him to get the respect he deserves, he needs to win. He's not a social guy. He doesn't even have social media. He's a dude that needs to win. And I think that for Nikola Jokic's sake, the Nuggets need to win a championship this year. It has been long overdue. Get the championship. You got a Warriors team where we don't know where Wiggins is. I'm a Warriors fan, by the way. Wiggins is out in Afghanistan. You got the Lakers, they're the Lakers. You got the Suns, they got KD, but KD just got injured. We know he's going to reevaluate to come back. But this injury not just is saying he's not going to be here. It's really it's taking away their time to socialize as a team and get their chemistry together. So you could probably get out of Suns team. The John Moran and his team, I don't know what they're doing. Dylan Brooks thinks I think he thinks he's Book. I think he thinks he's Book. I don't know what Dylan Brooks is doing. We don't know what John Moran is on with his gun. That I know he can't shoot on the court, but he can obviously shoot off of the court. There's a lot of great teams that are really just not at the level. I mean, the Clippers are like, they're good, but I don't think they're at a level to compete for a championship. Right now, the Nuggets can do it. I feel like even though the West is packed, and I think they're way more packed than the East, I still feel like this might be a chance to at least get to the finals, because you can beat out a few teams, especially with you being the first seed. You might have it easy. You'll play the 8th seed in the first round, and then you might get to play like the 5th seed. Like, you have like good opportunities to do your thing. If you play your cards right, I feel like the Nuggets could win the championship. And I think that is the next step for Nikola Jokic. I feel like Nikola Jokic needs to get to the next level. And for him to do that, his team needs to win a championship. He's got to lead them to a ring. It's not, all of it's going to be in vain. All of these greats, a center averaging a triple-double is ridiculous. But all of this will go out of the window, and it won't matter if you don't win. Harden had a crazy good season, averaging 36 points. But none of it mattered because he can't win. You gotta win a championship, because Jokic is at a point where I believe he's one of the greatest players to play this game so far, especially at his age. Like, looking at where he might be in 5 years if he keeps going up in this rate, like, I feel like he will be above most players that have ever played. All he got to do is win, and I feel like this is his chance. So I think they should do it. And I think that'll put Jokic on a pedestal, and he'll get the respect he deserves, because the Jokic disrespect is getting out of hand. There's no respect for Jokic. So yeah, that's all I had, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I certainly did. I'll see you guys later, man.